You have now met the company that is Atomy. Atomy is the tool that could make changing your social status possible. All you have to do is climb the ladder called Atomy. However, you first need to decide how high it is you want to be. Do you know why certain people can't succeed? Some people say, it is because you do not wish to succeed. This means that people cannot be successful because they do not even think about succeeding. Statistics show that from birth to age 30, people usually study, and from 30 to 60, what people do? They work, and from 60 to 90, people are in retirement. However, there are rumors going around these days that people will live to be 120. If you live until 120 years old and have no money, is it a blessing or a curse? This could be the curse for most of people in their old age. Even though most people prepare for 30 years and they work for 30 years, only 1% of all people had become successful and 1% only wealthy. Only 4% of people were financially secure. They could survive independently. These people were not very wealthy. 15% of all people had passed away. And 10% were living from paycheck to paycheck. They could only make ends meet. The remaining 70% of people had no jobs nor any money in their old age. This,
나름대로는 새벽부터 일어나서 잘 살아보겠다고 밤늦게까지 열심히 일한 사람들이 대부분입니다.
why was it that only 1% of them could be successful? There was actually a person who was aware of this phenomenon. Andrew Carnegie was from a poor family, but he achieved wealth later in life. He recognized how a vast amount of the world was living in poverty. Carnegie asked himself whether he could become successful if he were born again in a poor family. His conclusion? He would be successful even if he were born again 5 or 10 times in a poor family. Then why was it that all of these people could not be successful? The reason for this phenomenon was because people did not know the law of success. People did not know how to become successful. So Carnegie decided to let people know the method for achieving success. So he approached a man named Napoleon Hill, and he took on the task given to him by Carnegie. For 20 years, he conducted research on how to become successful. He had become the foundation in the US for the academic field for success. Actually, this thing called the law of success is not something that one could just make up. These principles are actually like the law of nature. A law of nature such as the law of gravity and which direction the sun rises and sets are absolute, like they are predetermined. And Stephen Covey called it the true north principle. It means that the direction north is predetermined. Pointing with your finger, lift your finger, point north. Where's north? What do you need? You need a compass. The compass will show you which direction is north. That means even before we check with the compass, the direction north is already fixed. That's why the law of success are not something that one could just make up. Rather, the way to success is already predetermined. And if you follow the certain path, you will succeed. But if divert from the path and go your own way, you will not be able to succeed. Carnegie did not create the law of success, and it's not something that I have made up either. If you follow this principle, you will succeed. If you don't, you won't succeed. Some people call this laws of farming. The law of farming are actually like the laws of nature. If you want to be successful in farming, you need to farm according to the laws of farming. And all farmers follow the laws of nature when they farm. Everyone should follow the laws of nature. Let us then see how a farmer conducts his farming on the farm. Let's also learn about the laws of success. What's the first thing that the farmer must do? Many people think it is already prepared. Others say you have to buy land. The farmer is the most important. Farming tools are the most important things. There are lots of suggestions, but the first thing a farmer do is decide what and how much it is, and he will want to reap. This is the first thing a farmer must do. Let's say, for example, if you want to reap 10 bags of rice, you set this goal, and then all of your decision will be based on these 10 bags of rice. All of his decisions will be based on this goal that's in his head. This is called an MBO course in business administration. Management by objectives. When you become a manager or deputy manager at a large company, you're sent to do an MBO course training at the small and medium business corporation. Although we call this MBO, it would be more accurate to call it management by objectives. This MBO is actually widely used by the government management. All companies use it too. What happens at the end of the year? You make a budget for the next year, and does the company do it too? Yes, they prepare in advance the year before, and how to do something next year, what is going to be the welfare policy, and what needs to be done. They are leading their future by creating a vision and having a 5-year plan and a 10-year plan and a long-term plan. However, this MBO is not being applied to their personal lives. They are not applying management by objectives. You must first draw in your mind what success will look like for you. You have now met Atomy, a tool that could make you rich and successful. Now that you have met this tool, all you have to do is set your goal. What kind of goal is it? You need to set the goal of a balanced life. Why? In human life, there is an aspect of the flesh, then there is a spirit and the soul. Another aspect that affects our life is in our environment. What the flesh wants is to live long, and the desire to live abundantly. In other words, people have the desire to live well.
The spirit wants to live conscientiously. It also wants to live forever, so this has to do with time. This shows that animals are fundamentally different from humans. Humans did not evolve from monkeys. What's different is that animals do not have a spirit.
그러니까 동물은
Do
양심이
animals
있다
have a
없다?
conscience or
없어요.
not? Of course
얘가
not.
이웃집
Let's say a
아저씨
dog
다리를 꽉
bit
물었어.
your neighbor's leg.
그랬더니 저녁 때가
Does the dog
되니까 아이고
regret
내가
that
좀
evening
참을 걸.
that he
그리고
had it?
후회하고 있는 개 보셨어요?
And
그런
have you
놈은 전혀
seen this
없어요.
dog? This kind of dog?
네.
No way. Why?
동물에게는
Because
양심이라는
animals
게
have no
없어요.
conscience.
그리고 동물은
Animals
시간의
actually have
개념이
no
없어요.
sense of time.
그래서 과거와
So to
미래가
them, the
대칭이에요.
past and future
똑같아요.
are the same.
그리고
They don't understand
늙는다는
what it
거에
is
대한
like
개념도
to
없어요.
age.
나이 먹은 개가
Have you seen the
이제
dog
내
worry
경생이
about old
끝나가는구나 하고
age?
고민하고 있는 개 보셨어요? 아무 생각 없어요.
No,
배만
they are
부르고 쿡쿡
just
자고 있어요.
content
늙거나 많아.
if they are
그러다 그냥 가는
full.
거예요. 그런데
But
사람은
humans are
항상
different.
이 영혼을
They
사모하는
always
마음이
long
있어요.
for
성경에
eternity.
보면은
In the Bible, it
영혼을
says
사모하는
God
마음을
has given man the
주셨도다. 이렇게 돼
desire
있단다.
for eternity.
그러니까 우리는 이
That is why
영원한
we long to
세계를
live forever.
우리가 그리고 있는 거예요. 그리고
We
우리는
must also receive
창조주로부터
love
사랑을
from
받아야
our
되고
Creator.
창조주를
Only
사랑해야만
then can we
궁극적으로
be
만족해요.
satisfied.
아무리 돈이 있고
If
건강하고
not,
오래
your life
살고
will be
그래도요,
meaningless and empty.
허망한 거예요. 아무리 많이
You will
배워도
lack happiness
자기
despite
속이 다
gaining
채워지지가 않는 거예요.
knowledge.
그래서
If you
솔로몬
read
왕이 쓴 전도서라는
Solomon's
책을 보면은
book, it says meaningless, meaningless, everything is meaningless. What can benefit the human soul by toiling under the sun? That is why, though our desires seem to be infinite, they cannot be filled like an endless sea.
만족할 수가 없다는 거예요. 결국은 뭘로
You
채워져야
must
되냐면은
ultimately fill this need by the love
사랑으로
of
채워져야
your
된다는
Creator.
거예요. 그래서 사랑하고
That is why we must experience love.
우리의 혼은
Next, the soul of humans
평온한 감정을 가지고 살아가는 희노애락이
desire
바로
to experience
우리의
peace.
혼에 해당되는 부분입니다. 그래서 우리는
Humans have
평온한
the
감정을 가지고
desire to
살아가고
peace in
싶은
their hearts.
욕구를 가지고 있어요. 평생
Can you say a person is successful if he has been angry his whole life? You cannot call a person successful if he has lied and hated others. Have you seen someone who is very rich? There are people who cannot trust others. You cannot deem such a life successful. That is why people must receive respect from one another and exchange good sentiments. Humans also have the desire to know the unknown. Essentially, people have the desire to learn. All of these things need to be satisfied also if humans do not contribute to their environment, especially the social and natural environment. They will die unsatisfied. They will think that they are useless. Even if a person becomes rich and successful, if they do not contribute back to the world, they will feel useless. They will be filled with deep regret. When all four of these categories are satisfied, only then can we deem one's life balanced. Our life's goal must be to live a balanced life. On top here is your ideal goal, and down here is your current reality. This ladder that will help you reach your goal is going to be this tool called Atomy. We are trying to reach this goal with this leg, and what we are ultimately trying to achieve is a balanced life. So a person must know how to bless, love, and earn respect from others. If you really love your husband or your wife, then you will say the following: Honey, you've been working day and night for so long. You should get some rest now. You've been working so hard for your family. Honey, let me take responsibility for our family from now. In order to give our spouse a rest, we must live well. A person once said there was a song he hated. Dad, take some strength. we are here. He said he hated the song the most. The man was already working so hard and was on the brink of collapsing. Wouldn't it be nice if they had sung, "That's just rest, we will do the rest"? It is just sad to see the children and the wife telling the father to stay strong when the father has already worked so hard. If you have loved ones in your lives, you must live well, and in order to live well, you need to learn. The reason why all of you are sitting here is because you have people who you truly love. That passion has brought all of you here, sitting with us late at night. I've also had difficult times in my life. I really long to become rich one day. Actually, I worked as an employee for 17 years. After leaving that job, I started an internet shopping mall. I created a massive internet shopping mall that sold over 10,000 products. But I was ahead of the times. I started in 1999 and launched in 2000. I was too ahead of the time when there weren't many internet users. How can I buy some? Cool. I cannot do the computer, and it was a time when internet LAN cables were just being installed. I had to wait for the age, and so I went through many hard times and I went totally bankrupt. I lived for 3 years in a cheap, tiny studio. Actually, before I used to look down on people who were poor. I thought that if anyone just tried hard, they could succeed. I thought that poor people had the wrong attitude. After my company collapsed, I got ill from the stress of my bankruptcy. I contracted liver diseases. My body started to deteriorate. My friend, who was a doctor, said he could not treat me anymore. He told me to go to a big hospital. My friend was a diligent doctor, but he gave up on my condition. So I realized how serious of a state I was in. I was devastated. And at the time, the doctor would not let me work. I was concerned and hopeless. That was when I started to empathize with the poor. I realized that such things could happen to anyone. Because I have experienced such hardships, I really hope that each and every one of you will be able to live well. Those who are here today, I'm sure some of your parents are ill. Maybe some of you, your children are handicapped. Maybe some of your husbands have lost their jobs. Some of you might have a lot of debt with possible bad situations. Or maybe some of you can not pay the tuition fee for your children, and all of you have your own story to tell. I really hope that such people in difficult situations can become rich through Atomy. And I hope through Atomy, all of you will be able to help others as well. That is why I want to point out that you need to refer to these 4 categories to set your goals. You need to be able to draw in your mind a movie clip of your life, a life of living well, loving, learning, and contributing. You need to envision that in your head like a cinema. In order to do this, you need to create a scene When a director makes a movie, they need scenes, right? Scenario. Let me explain to you how to write your life scenario using a very simple format. Then all of you have to do is fill in the sheet. I suggest you rewrite your life scenarios. Even our high-ranking members rewrite the scenarios every month, and for those whose life scenarios have come true, write how it has come true and rewrite your new goals. Let me explain to you how to write your life scenario. This is what the sheet will look like. There will be circles on the outside, and then you have to write down different factors from 4 of these categories. You are trying to design a well-balanced life here. One factor from the health category should go in, right? In order to live an abundant life, your basic needs must be met. These days, food and clothing is okay, but most people struggle with housing issues. Next, in order to live well, you will need a nice car, and you will probably have to travel once in a while. Also, if you want to contribute to those around you, and if you want to live a content life, you need cash too. Some cash would be nice, right? It would be nice to have about $100,000 that only you can use without your husband's decision. If you want to $500,000, write it down. Maybe some of you want to repay your debt. Maybe, or you want to contribute to the church. You need to write at least one point from each of these categories. So fill out your life scenario. Go ahead and write down goals that you really want to achieve. These goals need to be absolute goals. What's the definition of an absolute goal? An absolute goal is something that will drive you mad if it is achieved. Something that will make you work like a madman. A goal that you will be content even dying for that. When you add up all of your other goals as well, at least the amount that you need will be $30,000. Even if you tighten your belt, you will need about $20,000. If you want to have a little bit of costume, then you will need about $50,000 a month. If you are in your 20s, it's okay to receive $20,000 a month for the rest of your life. But if you are in your 60s and 70s, you don't have much time, then you will need a lot more money. So these are the calculations that we have made. Some of you might say, I can't even make $2,000. What do you mean? $20K or $30K? I think there are maybe 5 people who think like this. However, I believe there's a misconception about money. People can't make money because they don't understand money. The following are the type of misunderstandings. People think that earning a lot of money is more difficult than earning only a little bit. They think a lot of money is difficult to earn. That is not true. Let's say someone earns $3,000 a month. There's a person who makes $1,000 a month, a person who makes $20,000 and $50,000 a month. Who do you think is making money in the most inefficient way? It is the person making $1,000. Then the one making $3,000. Those that are making $20,000 actually have it quite easily. And those who make $20,000 a month say making money is easy. Those who make $500,000 a month, all they have is money. Making a lot of money is not necessarily more difficult. Just because you make 10 times more does not mean it's 10 times harder. There's a reason. Most people want to make between $3,000 and $7,000. That is why this range is the most competitive. The smartest and the most competent people flock to the salary range. This is why people in this range have such a difficult time. Strategically, one should not try to go in this range.
도리어
There are actually fewer people who want to make 20K to 50K dollars. That is why the competition in this range is very small, so that's why making big money is relatively easy.
또 이런 경우가
There
많아요.
is also another case.
학교에서 배울 때
We learned in school
지출이
that
있고
there are expenses and
수입이 있으면
incomes.
수입에 맞춰
You were
가지고
taught to
지출을
set
하라고
your
이렇게
expenses
배웠죠.
according to your income, right?
이렇게 배웠죠.
This is how you were taught, right?
그런데 이렇게 사는
However,
사람들은요,
people
다
who live
가난뱅이들이
like this
이렇게
are
살아요.
all poor.
그러니까 수입에 맞춰 가지고
People who set their expenses according to their income, people who make a budget, are all poor people in the middle class. Do rich people make a budget? They don't.
부자들 중에 가계부 쓰는
I've
사람은
rarely
거의
seen
없어요.
any wealthy people keep a budget on their
그러니까
spending.
수입에
No matter how
맞춰
hard you
가지고
try,
바등바등
you cannot become rich by
전략해가지고
saving the little
살아봐야
income
절대
that you
부자가 안
have.
돼요. 그럼 어떻게 해야 되느냐?
Then what was
먼저
to
지출을
do?
정해, 지출을.
You must first set a goal
나는 한
for the
달에
expenses.
2천만
Maybe
원씩을
you will
쓰면서
want to spend
살겠다.
20K dollars a
5천만
month
원을
or
쓰는
50K
사람이
dollars a
되겠다.
month.
나는 5천만 원이
Maybe you will
필요하다.
need 50K
그리고
dollars a
뭘
month.
찾냐면은
Then
수입처를
you have
찾는
to
거예요.
look for a source
5천만
of
원을 벌
income.
수 있는
You have to
일을
look for
시작하고
work that will
아니면은 안 해.
provide for your
안
expenses.
해보려고
You
해.
should not jump into work that
그런
cannot
사람들은
earn
부자가
you
된단 말이에요.
50K
그런
dollars,
사람들은.
and that those
그리고
people would become
특히 돈
successful.
없을 때는
And when you are
저축을
poor,
하면 절대 안
you
돼요.
should not save.
돈 없을 때
We
저축해
can never become rich
해가지고는요,
by saving
절대로
when
돈
you
못
are
모아요.
poor.
근데 바보들은요,
Foolish
돈
people
없을
try
때
to save money
아등바등
when
아껴.
they are poor,
그러다가 돈 있을
and they
때는
spend a
펑펑 써.
lot when
돈을
they
언제
are rich.
아끼냐면요, 돈이 많을
However,
때 돈을
you should
아껴야 돼.
save up
돈이 없을 때는
your
펑펑
money
써야
when
돼.
you're
있는 대로
rich,
다 써야
and
돼.
when you're poor,
그래야
you
얼마
should not
없으니까
save
몇푼
because
되지도 않아요.
when you save, you can only save a few pennies.
제가
I
3년
told
동안,
you that I had
3년
lived in a
동안
very
월세방
small
산 적이
house for
있었어요.
3 years.
사업하다가
It was a
망해가지고
small
월세방
home
50만
and the rent
원짜리에.
was
근데 거기
$500 a
가면
month.
집에 들어가면
During
겨울에
winter time,
추워.
the house
그러면
would get so
여보,
cold. I would tell my
가스 좀
wife,
깜깜대.
honey, turn up the heater.
보통 한 10만
If your
원어치
heating bill,
떼면은요,
if your
좀
heating
추워.
bill is
집이
$100,
조그만하니까
then it's cold. Just
플러스
using
5만 원어치만 더
$50
떼도
more on
15만
heating
원만
could
떼도
warm up
따뜻해요.
that house.
그런데
Because the house is very small and people only use
그래서
the heater
난방하는
for about
기간은
5 months a
5개월밖에 안
year,
되죠.
right?
그렇죠? 그럼 1년에
How much did I
얼마
save then?
저축했어요? 5만 원씩
That's $50
25만 원
times
저축했죠?
5 months,
곱하기
a
3년
total
하면은
of
75만 원 저축했어 내가.
$250 times 3 years. That's $750. I saved $750 over 3 years by shivering during the winter. Even thinking about that now, I'm so frustrated. I told my wife that those who are poor should now not save. I said we should just put up the heater. Do you know what she told me?
당신이 그렇게 생각하니까 우리가
You are in this
먹어야
situation.
먹어야 된다고.
We are in this situation because you think like that. Husbands who don't make money don't have a say in the house.
돈 못 벌어온다고 그래도
Ladies,
여자들
even if your husbands
말을 맞는
don't
거예요.
bring home money, truth is truth. I don't know why women look down on men when they don't have income. They are so mean.
나 여자들한테
I have a lot of bitterness towards women.
많은 여자가 아니고
Not
한
towards
여자
a
때문에.
lot of women, but just towards one woman.
75만 원
How can
아낀다고
she make
4년을
me
벌벌
freight
떨게
for
말이야.
3 years just to save $750?
돈 없을 때 돈
Is there
아끼는 거 의미가
use
있어요, 없어요?
in saving money when you're poor? Not at all.
돈 없을 때는 있는 대로 다
When you don't
쓰세요.
have money, just spend
돈도
everything.
따뜻하게 하고 먹을 것도
Make sure
잘
you are
먹고.
warm and eat well.
뭐든지 그냥
Spend
펑펑 다
everything
써버려.
you have.
언제 저축하느냐?
When should you
돈이
save?
펑펑
When you
들어올
earn
때
a lot of income.
그때 저축하는 거예요. 3천만 원 들어오고 5천만
When
원
you have
들어올 때,
30K
아이고,
or 50K
쟤는 한 달에
dollars a
1,000만
month,
원씩, 2천만 원씩
that's when you
저축을 하자.
should
그래서
save
그때
10K
저축을
or
하면은
30K
몇 억이
dollars.
모인단 말이에요.
When you save during the time, you will
200만 원,
save
300만
a lot of money.
벌어가지고
But if
그거를
you only
저축한다고
make
하고 있으면 다
two
쓸 돈도 부족한데. 그러니까 이-
only a
이
small
돈을 잘
money,
모르니까
then
이게 부자가 안
you
되는
cannot
거예요.
save a lot of
그런데
money.
이런 돈의 원리에 대해서
Rich
부자들이
people, however,
얘기를
will
안
not
해줘요.
tell you about the
착한
principles
부자가
of
지금
money.
얘기를 해주는 거예요,
I am
지금.
a very good rich man. That is why I'm telling you this.
자, 우리는 반드시
Let's
부자로
review in our
살겠다는
minds.
그런
We must
생각을
have the desire
해야
to
되는
become
거예요.
rich. That's why you need to write your life scenario so that you could play in your mind a movie that shows the kinds of life that you want to live. You need to be able to see vividly in your mind what kind of car you're driving, how it is you will bless your relatives, how you will treat your friends, and what kind of house you are living in. You must be able to envision this vividly in your dream, in your mind. In my case, I love cars. I was once a member of a network marketing company. I have reached the highest rank. I have a lot of experience as a contractor in network marketing. But since starting network marketing, I set the goal to one day drive Mercedes S500. So whenever I got the opportunity, I would always go to the Mercedes car dealer. I would always check out my dream car. One night, I was about to go to bed, but I could not take my dream car out of my mind, so I could not sleep. So in the middle of the night, I went to the Mercedes store. I stared at it from outside of the store, and then after some time, I came home, went to bed again. It was all very vivid for me. When I closed my car door, I realized that it made a tonk sound. A Mercedes makes a very nice sound when the door closes, but my car door made a tonk sound. So I asked myself, what's wrong with my Mercedes? I came to my sense. I realized that I was still in my best of car, the Sonata. I still driving an old car, but I imagine as I were driving a Mercedes. You need to be a little crazy like me. If there is a house that you really want to live in, you should go visit model houses. You should go check them out frequently. You should inquire a lot of things, what kind of options I might have, the curtains, the furnitures. You need to go multiple times. You need to embed these images in your mind so that you could see the life you want vividly. I would go crazy if only I could achieve this goal. I would lose my mind. I would lose sleep over these. You need to reach this level when setting your goal. Is everything complete if you just set these goals? The answer is yes. It has been scientifically proven. Our body actually cannot separate between our imagination and reality. There are times when you're so tired in the mornings, right? Sometimes your body is so heavy like wet cotton. If you were to receive $30,000 a month, would your body be just as heavy? Or do you think you'll be light as a feather? Your body will probably be light as a feather. It would also boost your immune system. Your body would change. And your facial expressions will change as well. The best way to succeed is to vividly imagine money coming into your bank account. Just by imagining this will help you achieve it. Imagine Spark's reaction just as if it has actually happened. Just do an experiment. Why don't you all imagine there is a pomegranate in your mouth? Now bite into the fruit. Can you taste the sweet and sour taste of the pomegranate? What's happening inside your mouth now? You're salivating. If you don't, you need to go to the doctor. Normal people would salivate by imagining the pomegranate in your mouth, just as if it's real. This is what we want. Imagine receiving $50,000 a month. Then imagine taking that money and buying a massive house, a house that you've always dreamed. And then imagine that you are driving Mercedes, plus you're relaxing in the back seat. Try to envision how you could make this a reality. Our expression will change, our health will improve, our speech will change, our eyes will light up as well. With this positive energy, we'll achieve success. That's why the most important thing is self-confidence. You need to believe that you will be successful. If you make your life scenario into a movie in your mind,
시나리오를 한 편의 영화를 내 머릿속에서 돌리면은
a life that you have always dreamt, the movie will become your reality. If you could play that movie in your mind, it will come true. This is called a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what experts called it. I'm telling you to envision this to yourself until it gets fulfilled. The most important thing in becoming successful is to truly think that you could succeed and live that life. Let me show you some of life scenarios of others. This is how you should write your life scenario. That's why you need to keep updating your life scenario. There is another form that you must all fill out. This is a form that shows when you were promoted. The same goes for Sharon Rose Master, $10,000 and above for Star Master, $50,000 for Warrior Masters. It is the people who have stayed up all night writing this life scenario that have become successful. I hope each and every one of you will all be successful. I will end tonight's lecture hoping that all of you could achieve a balanced life. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you.